NEET Pathakes NEET Biology, and from today's session we begins with the next unit, that heredity and variation. In that unit for class 12th, actually number of students requesting me that ma'am you begins with the heredity and evolution, so I decide to start with the chapter 5th, as it is one of the most important, entire unit is one of the most important unit for your theory exam as well as for the NEET exam. One chapter, fourth chapter is remaining, because in last session we completed the third chapter. So that fourth chapter I will complete it in coming days. So here we begins with the chapter 5, that principles of inheritance and variation. When we come towards the inheritance and variation, so generally three terms are there which causes a great confusion in students. That is, one is inheritance, second term is heredity, and the third term is genetics. So first you remember inheritance. What is inheritance? Inheritance, when we begins with the chapter, so first here you see the name of the chapter itself, principles of inheritance and variation. So here first, basically in today's session we are going to study about some important terms which consistently used in both the chapter 5th and chapter 6th of the unit. So here first we study about inheritance. Inheritance, you remember, inheritance is the phenomena by which character are transferred from one generation to next generation. So the characteristic property or characteristic phenomena by which characters, unique characters or genetic characters, transfer from one generation to another generation or next generation, that is called as, you remember, inheritance. When we come towards the heredity, so heredity, you remember, heredity is the process of inheritance or process of transfer of character. This part you remember. Here the character are transferred. So this is the phenomena. And heredity means, when we study about heredity, so we predominantly study how the inheritance of the character is take place, or how the characters are transferred from one generation to another generation. So whenever you study about the process of transfer of characters, again from one generation to another generation, closely related terms are there. So that process is called as heredity. So heredity means, you remember, whenever we study about heredity, we predominantly study about the inheritance. And what is genetics? The third term we use, that term is called as genetics. Genetics, you remember, genetics is a branch of biology, or we say branch of science, in which we study about heredity, or the branch of science deals with the study of heredity or the processes of heredity. So that branch of science is called as genetics. Human genetics, so we study about in human genetics how the genetic characters are transmitted from one generation to another generation of the human genetics. Population genetics, that means we study about the properties of the population which are to be transferred from one generation to another generation. So here you remember these three closely related terms. Now when we begins with the genetics, or we begins with the inheritance, because the chapter, you remember, this chapter is broadly divided into two major fractions. In first half we study about Mendelian inheritance, and in second half we study post Mendelian inheritance, or we say chromosomal inheritance we study, and as well as we study about the pedigree analysis. So here first we come towards some of the important terms which are used in this chapter. First most important term you remember that we study, that is called as gene. Here students are having confusion about the gene. Some of asking me that whether it is a part of DNA or it is a part of chromosome. So quite confusion is there. So you never remember that the gene is whether it related with DNA or RNA. You simply remember the unit of heredity, because we deals in this chapter, we deal with the process of heredity or phenomena of inheritance, and the heredity is mainly completed or take place due to some unique particular units. These units you remember, units of heredity normally we say, these are called as genes. At molecular level when we study, so you only remember genes are located on chromosome, और क्रोमोसोम आप पढ़ चुके हैं, chromosomes are made up of DNA. So not to be confused between chromosome and DNA. At broad level, when we observe the structure during mitosis or meiosis division, so that is chromosome. In interphase, when we not observe the chromosomes, so the chromosome become present in the form of DNA. So here you remember DNA present on chromosome, or they are the part of, genes are present on chromosome as a bead-like structure. And if you come towards DNA, so DNA itself show the presence of gene throughout its length. Now when we study about the gene, so gene you remember, the term was given by, term was provided by Johansen. You remember Johansen also, you appear in reference book. So Johansen, and it provided for factor of Mendel. The term factor is provided for provided by Mendel for discrete unit. So here you remember the term factor is now replaced by the term gene. So for factor we use the term gene. And now what is gene? When we study about gene, so here simply you remember gene is unit of heredity, whereas when we study the factor, so factor you remember, factors are discrete unit of heredity. So you remember the unit of heredity, the units by which characters are transmitted from one generation to other. That unit you remember is called as heredity. That unit is called as gene. Now when we study about the gene, so here you remember genes are present in two forms. One we use dominant gene, and the second is called recessive gene. So these are the two forms of gene, dominant gene and recessive gene. Dominant gene you remember, generally when we define the genes, so we use the generation F1 generation, F2 generation. So dominant gene means generally we define gene which expressed in F1 generation. That gene is called as dominant gene. और simple state में आप कहते हैं the gene which may be expressed in homozygous as well as heterozygous, but still we are not studying about the homozygous and heterozygous term. That's why I am not giving that definition. So for introductory purpose, you remember the gene which always be expressed In F1 generation, that gene is called as dominant gene. Secondly, you remember dominant genes are always represented by capital alphabet. Whatever character to be the first alphabet in terms of capital is represent the dominant gene. So capital alphabet. And secondly, you remember the dominant genes are present in homozygous and heterozygous state that we will separately study. Dominant gene, suppose the character, the height of the plant is tall. So for tallness, we show the capital T, capital T. If the flower is red and red is dominant color, so we show the capital R, capital R. We always show the genes in pair because the characters or the chromosomes are present in diploid conditions or diploid state. Or chromosome number, recessive gene. Recessive gene we normally state the gene which only express when the dominant gene is completely absent, or in terms of generation you remember gene which expressed in F2 or F3 generation in absence of dominant gene. That gene you remember is called as recessive gene. It always represented by small alphabet. So small alphabet we use. Which small alphabet? The small alphabet of the same which we use for the dominant. So suppose in contrast to tall, the height of the plant is, or the height of the stem is short, then we use the term dwarf. And for dwarf, instead of small d, we use the character that is small t, small t. If the flowers are colorless or white, then we use the small r, because here we use the red color flowers, capital R, for the showing colorful flowers or the dominant trait in flower. So this is the introductory part. You remember that how we can differentiate between the dominant and recessive gene. When we study that actually what is homozygous and heterozygous condition, then we again come towards the dominant and recessive, because we say dominant gene may be present as a homozygous or heterozygous, but the recessive genes are always be expressed in homozygous state, and that's why we say the recessive traits are the pure traits, whereas the dominant trait means character, whereas the dominant trait may be present as a pure or they may be present as a heterozygous trait. So now first you clear this part. Now we come towards the next term, that is one of the important term, and it is the allele. So here you remember allele. What is allele? Secondly, the students who are preparing for board exam, they prepare this term for the 1 marks and 2 marks question. So allele you remember. Now here you study the two forms of gene. One is dominant and one is recessive. So when we define the allele, so allele means you remember the two alternate form of genes called as alleles. Now what are the two alternate forms of gene? Alternate form of gene means one form is dominant and the second form is recessive. So these two forms you remember, the dominant and recessive. These two forms are called as alternate form, and alleles here you remember capital T and small t. These are the allelic form of gene. This part you remember, and the progeny which show both the forms of the gene or the both alleles are when present, then you remember that progeny or individual is called as allelomorph. Allelomorph you remember, allelomorph are always show dominant phenotype. So here you remember they are always showing dominant feature, physical appearance or dominant phenotype. So this you remember very well, that the two alternate forms of a gene when present together, then they are called as alleles. Alleles whenever present, the progeny or the individual called allelomorph, and allelomorphs are always showing the dominant phenotype. Now we come towards the two state of the genes, that genes present in two forms, either they present as homozygous or heterozygous form. This you remember, homozygous or homozygote and heterozygotic conditions we say. Homozygous you remember when both genes are either dominant or recessive. Then you remember this condition is called as homozygous. So homozygous means you remember capital T is homozygous condition, small t also homozygous condition. Instead of both you can also remember all, that is capital Y, capital R, that the seeds are yellow as well as round in shape. So yellow and round seed when we show, that means the capital Y, capital R, all the genes, whatever number of genes present in that particular progeny or individual, all the genes are either dominant or all the genes are either recessive. Then you remember the progeny or the individual is called homozygotic, and the state of the genes are said to be in homozygous condition. But when 50% dominant and 50% recessive genes are present together, and these genes are available for same trait. For same trait, one gene is dominant and one gene is recessive. Then you remember that trait condition is called as heterozygous. If we come towards this, so heterozygous means capital T, capital R, small r. This is for a single character. When we come towards this condition, so here you remember capital Y, capital R, small r. This condition you remember, in this condition the phenotype is same, yellow and round seed, but the progeny or that individual you remember is heterozygous for their genic combination or genotype. So here you remember the genes may be homozygous when all are dominant or all are recessive. When 50% dominant and 50% recessive for the particular trait, then you remember the condition of the genes is called as heterozygous condition. Now we come towards the two most important terms which generally ask in the form of difference in your board exams, that is genotype and phenotype. So here we discuss about the next terms, that is phenotype and genotype. Now when we study about the phenotype and genotype, so here you remember phenotype means simply whatever features or physical characters you appear in any of the individual. Suppose you observe any plant, and in that plant you appear that the plant height of the stem is too much long. Secondly, the flower is a colorful flower, seeds fruits, number of features, physical features you appear, and all those physical features, physical character, or in genetics we use the term trait. So whatever physical trait or morphological traits we appear, those morphological trait for that particular individual is called as phenotype. And why this phenotype is present? Because for every physical feature or for every phenotype, you remember, one particular gene is available in chromosome or DNA. So phenotype means, you remember, phenotype आप जब स्टडी करते हैं, so in phenotype हम स्टडी करते हैं, phenotype is physical appearance of trait or character. So physical appearance of trait or a character is called as phenotype, whereas when we come towards genotype, so whatever genes are responsible for that character, that is called genotype. So genotype, you remember, combination of genes or setup of genes or constitution of genes, also we say constitution of genes for trait or character is called as genotype. Clear? Here when we come towards phenotype, so phenotype, you remember, phenotype are observable character, and genotype, you remember, genotypes are analytical character, that we have to study analysis, we have to make analysis of a DNA for the study of genotype. So this is analytic character. This part you remember very well. And if we study the example, so for example, if you study, so plant, remember, plant is having, or seeds related, if we study the character, so round and yellow seeds you appear in plant. Okay, pea plant generally, because this character we select for the pea plant. So in pea plant, round and yellow seeds are available. At the same time, when we come towards genotype, so you can appear two genotype for the round and yellow seed. One is dominant homozygous, that is the capital R, capital R, capital Y, capital Y. Or the another genotype you can appear, that is capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. So genotype may be in homozygous or heterozygous trait. But when we study about phenotype, so phenotype, you remember, one single phenotype we observe, either the phenotype is dominant or the phenotype is recessive. So this difference you very well prepare. Generally this difference is asked for 2 marks question in board, and this is one of the most important question for the introductory part of the chapter. And now after phenotype and genotype, we comes towards the alleles. Now you very well remember. Then some another terms are there like monohybrid cross, dihybrid cross, test cross, back cross. These terms yet we are not going to study, because now we strictly follow the NCERT. These terms are essentially required to when we begins with the chapter, because repeatedly these terms are there. Trait term you again remember, used for the character. Generally we use the term character, but when we study about the genetics, we use the term trait for the term character. And so for today's session I use only the introductory part for explanation. From next session we will begins with the Mendelian inheritance, and in Mendelian along with Mendelian inheritance only we go towards the monohybrid cross. Then after monohybrid cross we study about the back cross and test cross, as well as dihybrid cross. So we are not separately study monohybrid and dihybrid cross. in introductory part. Now we come towards the NCERT section. So the students who are new for the session, they kindly subscribe my channel, like my videos, share my videos, and up to next session, stay motivated and stay blessed.